Up until now, we have been testing using Node and Mocha, and that's worked pretty well. But we're now running into the scenario where we want to test the browser. As you can see here, I have an example of a page that is creating a map instance. You can see here I referenced the Google library, and in lines 7 through 14, I'm actually creating an instance of a map and loading it into the page. Now the question is, how do we test this? Now there's a lot of large frameworks, but most of them are overkill for what we want to do. So I want to share with you here Phantom.js, which is a pretty lightweight framework that will allow us to do this. As you can see here, it says full web stack, no browser required. And I'm now going to show you some code that uses Phantom. It is this file here called map.js. As you can see, it starts off by requiring web page. All of this is functionality of Phantom.js, and then it references a page, that's that URL here, which is simply this file map.html, which is the file that I showed you a moment ago. Now, after it opens that, if it's successful, it will render the page, and it will then access objects inside of that file. As you can see here on line 13, we assign map, and I'm going to access map through this function. As you can see here, I am creating a location object, and I do that by accessing the property center and then the function latitude, which will return the location of the center of that map. I then return all of that into a result variable, which I then run right to the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and run this now at the command line. Let me go ahead and clear and rerun here. And you should see the result of that, which is simply the location object with latitude and longitude. Now, if I go back to my file system, you'll see that a PNG was created with the map that was rendered onto the page. And if we bring the browser and Finder and I drag and drop that file onto the browser, you can see there that both of those match. You can see there that that is a rendering of what the browser has rendered. So as you can see, using Phantom, we can get programmatic access to the objects, functions, and so on in the page, and we can even render the page. So you can imagine that this could lead to some interesting testing scenarios where we're comparing images, and simply based on some tolerance of diff, we could assign credit to a student. I'm also going to show you here some more code. This one simply says map more, and I'm going to reach in to the file system and simply write a test result. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because we're using Mocha, and this could be an additional package that we run in addition to Mocha. And this would allow us to write test results onto the file system that we could then pick up and report to our central database. As you can see here, one of the additional things that I do down on line 19 is that I check that result. If that is a valid object, then I assign an extra property to that object, which is result pass true, and then I write that to the file system. If not, then I do the opposite, false, and write to the file system. So I'm going to go ahead and run that code next. So if I do this and enter underscore more.js and enter return, we should be able to see when I go back to the file system that new file called output.json. And yes, you can see there that we have again that location object, and in this case it has an additional property of pass true. Now I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. I'd love some feedback, and that's it for this one.